Hey beauties, good morning to you beautiful people. Forgive me people, I don't know, maybe I was born in a Stone Age time, like Flintstone era, because there are some things that I really and truly cannot fathom, and there is something wrong in terms of women empowerment or ladies uniting. We know the whole saga of women being against women for whatever reason, which I cannot fathom. That's a phenomenon that somehow I'm not able to comprehend. I don't know. It seemed to have permeated the hearts, the minds, and the souls of women. I'm not saying it doesn't happen among men, but predominantly women. And when we check it, it's jealousy. I mean, when I check the Bible, the only situation that I can think of, and it still happened between two men, was Saul and David. When the women sang that Saul killed 1,000, David killed tens of thousands. Then jealousy permeated the heart and the mind and the soul of Saul. But women, I know, when you do the research, usually it is jealousy and envy in malicious and malignant ways, because the woman, simple things, the woman is beautiful, she's brilliant, educated, men seem to like her. She has a vivacious spirit, she's effervescent, very lively, things that people would consider to be, feat, or to be considered to be qualities that anybody would want. And because they lack it, because of their own narcissism, their own selfishness, their own paranoia, their own lacking self-worth, maybe some mental issue. Sometimes yes, it's a mental issue, and they confuse reality with a fable. And so many different, because of their own brokenness. They're broken, they're like a broken glass, not whole. Then they spew it on other people, and because of that, we don't have older women encouraging younger women. You find the opposite happening. Sometimes I go online and I hear older women say, no young girl can look like me, no young girl, no. But and I'm like, why are we doing this? I don't want to be at a certain age and be competing and saying that no young girl can this and a young girl. It's ridiculous. One thing I will say that breaks my heart when I see younger women is that I can't tell their ages nowadays, even with young boys. Sometimes you think that they're older than you, and when you look, you're much older than they are, because I don't know if it's the constant nightlife, the constant partying, the drinking, the smoking, the stress that is on them, that is aging them. But that's apart from that, I want to grow old gracefully and encourage. I want a younger person to look up and say, that is how I want to look, and that's how I want to dress, that's how I want to be when I'm older, as I model Christ. But I saw this young girl and it broke my heart. And she was very, very nonchalant, very, very cavalier. She was as a matter of fact kind of attitude. I am going to sleep with your man and there's nothing you can do about it. But what disturbed me is when you look in the comments section, the people are laughing. Now, even if it was a joke, the brain is so funny that you are thinking of it as a joke. But what happens is that when you start to carry it as a joke, you start to water that seed. And what ends up happening is that people will sleep with men or women, as the case may be, that don't belong to them. We all belong to God, but you know what I'm talking about. They have a spouse, the woman, she has her husband, the husband has his wife, and you're comfortable going into that situation, not understanding that there are repercussions that you're going to face. Even if you don't face the repercussions from either of the two parties, that meaning the husband or the wife, there is a God who sits high and looks low. You cannot evade him. You cannot elude. There's nothing that you do that he will not see, no matter how dark it is, no matter how you're hiding yourself. And to be filled with pride in that way, to say, I don't care what you say, I'm going to sleep with your man, and there's nothing you can do about it, and I'm just going to do it. It says something is wrong with what we're passing down to our younger people. Because instead of me scrolling the net and seeing older women saying, come on young girls, I want you to, you say, oh, me look good, as some why you look when you reach my age, we're talking, I hear an older women say, no young girl can look like me, and the young boy them want me. What? We need to stop the nonsense and the rubbish, because the reality is this. Let me tell you something, older women. Even if you shape good and you look good, and we say you look good for your age, there is a youthfulness that is among young people that will stay with them until they get older. I don't know what it is, maybe how they look. There's something that's youthful and energetic, and something that the man likes. So no matter how the young men may say, we don't want a young girl because them nah wash, cook and clean and whatever, lies, and they run come to you, they want you to take care of them. while they go on the side and have their girlfriends, a young girlfriend, somebody young that looks youthful, that matches them or even looks younger. That even if when you look at the Bible and it talks about Sarah was 10 years younger, was 10 years younger than Abraham. She was 10 years his junior. He was 10 years her senior. So it shows you that men like something youthful. There was a joke was cracked that, you know, like God said to the husband and the wife, what do you want? What wish do you want? Like, I'm going to grant you some wish. And she said, like, she would say, I want to travel the world. And God gave her some airline tickets. And he said he wants a wife that is 30 years younger than him. And, you know, God, when he like, he go, whoosh, he was 90 years old. And I say, yeah, man, a good. You see it? But even though it's a joke, it tells a story of where the mind of the man is, or the men are. So when you're talking about young girl can't look like me and them can't this and them can't that, stop the nonsense. Stop the rubbish. I'm not going to be competing with somebody in their 20s. Yes, you may have people who don't shape good and don't look old and all. They're still younger though. They still have a fighting chance, you know, and so on. So it's what I would want them to do is to look on and say, when I get older and older, each stage and each season that I reach, I like how that lady carries herself. I like how she speaks. I'm going to emulate her as she emulates Christ, as she emulates God. That's what you should be promulgating, not a message like you're competing. This thing about, even if you see the young people competing and say old lady and so forth, pray for them because they're younger. And when you were younger, you probably used to talk like that too. And talk about watch an old man, what the old man there go with the old man. Some people used to do it. So when it happens to you now, you really shouldn't feel anyway. So your thinking should be advanced, should be above. You should be thinking that way and doing that. So come on. You know? Oh, so yes. So when I heard that young girl, my apologies, people, I got a bit distracted. I said to myself, you know, back in the day, I probably would have wanted to crucify her, send her to the gallows, you know, to be speaking that way. But, you know, we're not. The Bible says that when we're going to correct people, do it in love, because lest you fall into that temptation or you can fall into that trap. In other words, have you ever heard people crucifying people in a particular area? You know, whether it's adultery, fornication, stealing, murder, whatever it is. And they go on really bad and they don't do it in love. Years later, here they commit the same act, even in a heinous way, even in a worse way, the very same, whether it's adultery, fornication, murder, stealing. And you say, my God, and look how the person went on with other people, with me, with whomever it may be. And look at what their names have been called up in. The Bible said it, be careful. Be careful. That's why you have to be careful. Even when you hear something bad about somebody and your instinct is to judge, just pull back and say, boy, God, I pray that, you know, thank God that I don't do this. Just keep my hands clean. Don't let me do certain things. I pray that the person change. I know they're going to have to take responsibility. They have to be answerable to the laws of the land, especially if it's a legal issue or an ethical issue that can become legal. You know, if they have to pay for the crime committed, so be it. But still restore them, mighty God. That's how we should be talking. And we should be encouraging young people. Stop competing older women with young, you know, I don't hear, the most you may hear some men say, boy, them can't tell nowadays them young man, because them look old like them and old. That's the most. Even I say that. But outside of that, no bother with that. Because that is probably part and parcel why that young girl felt comfortable to speak the way she did. It must be things that she was exposed to. Or there were no boundaries set for her. That's why she feels she could just get up and say, I don't care, I'm going to sleep with your man. I'm going to sleep with your husband, sort of as it. I do not care. And people in the comment section laughing. It was a joke to them. And the reality is that we're not passing down principles and standards to our young people. One of the fundamental flaws that is happening today is that people are not going to Sunday school or Saturday school, whatever they call the Saturday ones. They're not going anywhere, so they're not being taught the principles for life, which is through the Bible, through the Word of God, because sometimes the parents, they themselves don't even know. I hear that it has probably, it's now about 70 or 80%. So you're going to find lawlessness and ungodliness. So you're going to get up and probably hear people say, I don't care, I'm going to rob the bank. I'm going to steal from this one. I'm going to kill people. You know, I'm going to make people lose their jobs. I'm going to commit adultery and fornication. I'm going to steal somebody's husband, steal somebody's wife. You know what I mean? I mean, although you really can't steal somebody's, they have to go to you. But you know the point that I'm making. What are we doing as older people? What are the standards and the principles that we passing down, such as stop young women like that to speak like that? Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message. Have a good one.